Hi friends, welcome to Srisai IT Hub. In this video of Core Java Programming, today we are going to discuss the following topics. Nested loops in Java program. So let us start with what is nested loop. So first of all, what is loop? Loop is a control structure which is used to execute a block of code zero or more times. That means zero or multiple times based on a condition. Okay, so loop is a control structure which is used to execute a block of code zero or multiple times based on a condition. So basically this is a loop with a condition. So if the condition is true, then it will execute the block of code. Otherwise it will come out of the looping structure. So this is the block of code. So condition will give either true or false. So based on true or false, it will execute the block of code multiple times, zero or more times. Then what is nested loop? Okay, so now coming to nested loop means using one loop inside and another loop is known as nested loop. So using one loop inside another loop is known as nested loop. So how to write a nested loop? Okay, so the syntax goes like this. Syntax. So first we have to write a regular loop. Inside that we'll write nested loop. So loop which will have basically a condition. Okay, and then inside that we'll write another loop with another condition. Right, so here technically this is called as outer loop. Okay, so outer loop, and this is called as inner loop or nested loop. Okay, so it is called as inner loop or nested loop. Right, so this whole structure is called as nesting of loops. Okay, so outer loop and inner loop combined known as nesting of loops. Okay, so this nesting of loops is executed based on number of iterations of outer loop into number of iterations of inner loop. Okay, right, so finally this nested loop or nesting of loops, so nesting of loops is executed based on number of iterations of outer loop into number of iterations of inner loop. So this is what is the total looping structure, number of iterations. Number of iterations of outer loop into number of iterations of inner loop. Okay, so example, so let us say that outer loop is executed 3 times. Okay, and then inner loop executes 3 times. Okay, so 3 times into 3 times, total the looping structure executes 9 times. Okay, so here total the nesting looping structure executes 3 into 3 9 times. So total it will execute 9 times. So this is how outer loop, inner loop, nested loop, total combined nesting of loops will execute total number of iterations. So let us try to implement this in the form of a small program. Right. So program goes like this. Nested loops example1 dot java. Okay. So here we'll write program to demo nesting of loops. Right. Okay. So one important point before we write a program here. So in nesting of loops, outer loop represents number of rows. Okay. Number of rows, and inner loop represents number of columns. So number of rows and number of columns. Okay. So what exactly is this number of rows and number of columns? Okay. So mainly nesting of loops is used to represent the data in the form of rows and columns. In the form of rows and columns. Okay. So rows and columns means example like tables. So tables will have rows and columns. Like matrices. So matrices in mathematics, we will have rows and columns. So if you want to represent that data in the form of rows and columns, then we have to go for nesting of loops. Right. So outer loop represents number of rows, inner loop represents number of columns. So let us try to implement this in the form of a program. So let us take a new page. So first we'll write the comments here. Program to demo nesting of loops. So nesting of loops will demonstrate with rows and columns data. Right. So class will take the class name nested loops example 1. So this is the main class. So we'll also write public static void main string of args. Right. So let us save this program in our working directory. So nested loops example 1 dot java. Right. So for outer loop and inner loop, we'll take two loop variables int I comma j. So we are going to use I to represent outer loop, j to represent inner loop. Okay, right. So let us try to represent the data in the form of rows and columns. Okay, so we'll directly say here system dot out dot println. We'll write it as something like table or matrix data, right? So for loop, okay, which is one of the best efficient looping structure where we have initialization, condition checking, increment decrement in the same line. So for I is equals to 1, I less than or equals to 3, I plus plus. Okay, so outer loop executes 3 times. Okay, it will execute 3 times. So 3 times means it is like 3 rows. So outer loop represents number of rows. Next, let us take inner loop for j is equals to 1, j less than or equals to 3, j plus plus. So here inner loop 1, 2, 3. When j value is 4, 4 less than or equals to 3, it will come out. So inner loop executes 3 times, which means 3 columns, right? So directly we'll say system dot out dot println and we'll print something like I comma j. So I value plus string concatenation comma j value plus j. So it will print I value and j value. So for example, when I is equals to 1, 1 less than or equals to 3, true, it will come inside. So j will start from 1, 2, 3, 3 times. So 3 times it will print 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. So after that I will become 2. 2 less than or equals to 3, true. It will come inside. J will again start from 1. So 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3 will be printed. After that when j becomes 4, 4 less than or equals to 3, false, come out. So when it comes out, again it will go to I plus plus, I will become 3. 3 less than or equals to 3, true, come inside. Again j will start from 1, 2, 3. So 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3. After that j will become 4, 4 less than or equals to 3, false, come out. And then I will become 4, 4 less than or equals to 3, false. It will directly come out of the outer for loop. And then we'll print one message here, system dot out dot println, end of the program, right? So let us try to compile and run this. Open the command prompt, go to your working directory. So java c nested loops example 1.java. Compile this and run. Right, so it is printing data in the next line, system dot out dot println. So let us try to print this in the same line. Okay, so system dot out dot print I j. Okay, so after printing I j, we'll take a tab space. Okay, plus tab space, right? So simply recompile, rerun. So it is printing all the 3 into 3 9 times in a single line, followed by end of the program. So what we'll do is, after each row, means after the completion of the inner loop, we'll take system.out.println, we'll put one new line. So here it will take new line and ln, two new lines. Print ln, new line, and new line character will also take new line. So two new lines after each row. Right. Recompile and run. So if we see here, when I value is equals to 1, j will start from 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, tab space, 1, 2, tab space, 1, 3. After that, it will come out of the inner loop. It will take two new lines. First new line and then second new line. So next I will become 2. So 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. After that, it will take new line and new line. Okay. And next I value will become 3. So 3, 1, 3, 2, and 3, 3. Right. After that, I value becomes 4. So 4 less than or equals to 3, false. Come out and print end of the program. So this is something like rows and columns. So 3 rows, first row, second row, and third row. In each row we have 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. So if you want to represent data in the form of rows and columns, the best looping structure is nesting looping structure. Outer loop followed by inner loop. So 3 into 3. It will execute total 9 times. So this is how we are supposed to work with nested loops or nesting of loops in Java program. Thank you for watching this video. Do like and share this video and also subscribe to the YouTube channel Sri Sai IT Hub. Have a nice day.